Hi guys. So it's March 4th. It's Tuesday, March 4th. Here in Southern California anyway, that's the date. So today is officially the day that the contest is over. That means all the ones that I've gotten in are the people who are going to be winning. I didn't get enough to fill out all the prizes, so 5th place is going to be getting both the 5th place prize and the 6th place prize, because I didn't get 6 people. I feel kind of bad about that. I'm like, oh, maybe that's why people do those reblog contest giveaways, because they get a lot of, I guess they probably get more people who will come participating in those. But, okay, so the contest is over, so immediately after I give away the answers to what all the questions were, I'm going to reveal who won and what prizes that means they're going to get. So let's just go ahead and start. So number 1 was, what is Tazra's position on the Crying Star? And the answer is she's the life support officer. That means she's in charge of all the life support systems on the ship. She's in charge of keeping everybody alive. Which is why everyone's kind of a little afraid of her, because she's a bit of a bitch, and when she gets really agitated, she threatens to vent the air out of whatever room people happen to be in. Which is why the crew doesn't fuck with her. They kind of like go around her specifically. Which of the 2 Batarian twins has blue markings? And that is... Shut up, phone. Curl. He's the one who has the blue markings on his forehead. It's because he's the twin who worked for the Blue Suns first in order to pay off the debt that they owed to pay for their trip off the Batarian homeworld to Omega. So that they could get away from their slave life. Which 2 crew members have cybernetic eyes? And that's Racist. He's always had the cybernetic eye, and Ilias, who he got his relatively new-ish. It's relatively new. Several months ago, I had this in-canon event because I was gone for a while, and I felt really bad about it, and I wanted something cool that the crew have done during that time to explain why they were gone for so long. So the excuse I used was they were all off on a mission, and the ship got invaded by Cerberus agents, and Ilias lost his eye to a phantom when he was trying to kick them off the ship, and the phantom sliced off his eye. He killed the phantom who took his eye and stole his sword, but he still is lacking an eye. It's not as easy to tell, especially in some of the newer drawings that I've been doing, but especially in the latest drawing I did, because I just didn't include it at all, but his cybernetic eye is almost identical to his real eye. It glows bright green, and his other eye is like really neon green, so it's really hard to tell, but he does have a cybernetic eye. It's the one that has the scar above it. And Racist's cybernetic eye is red. It's clearly different from the rest of his eyes, because he's like, I have 3 brown eyes, that's boring, let's give me a red one. That ought to spice things up. So they're the 2 members who have cybernetic eyes. Atreus doesn't have any eye pieces. His head is relatively intact. His face is his moneymaker. He doesn't let damage come to his face. His arms and his chest, however, he doesn't give a crap. That's already pretty messed up. What planet is Racist originally from? I know there was some confusion about this. I got confused originally when I wrote this question, and then I was like, oh shit! And I had to go back and change it because I was like, wait, no, I wrote in the colony instead of the planet. And I know that's where people had some trouble with this question. He's from the planet Lorik, which is a Batarian colony. And the colony's, like, main city name is Jalnor, which is why I could see why that would be very confusing. I probably should have given that one more points, but I didn't. What ship did Zal intend to serve on before running off to join Zora on the Crying Star? And when I say ship, I mean like, because when Quarians, why does every alien species have to end with an N? The Quarians, when they're done with their pilgrimage, they have to give information to a crew captain so that they can join another ship for service. And, was it Admiral, is it Zen? The one that has Claudia's Black, who has Claudia Black as her voice artist, or voice actor. She has those, like, scientific research ships, which is this relatively new fleet. And I think it's Moray is one of the main ships. And Zal was going to join that ship because his information is purely research-based. Pretty much. But because he's kind of obsessed with Zora and he found out that she was getting in trouble, he completely abandoned everything he was doing, stole the research he was intending to give to the captain, and just fled the entire flotilla. So he was going to join the Moray. What are Eyeless's 3 prominent powers or abilities? And this is like if he was an actual character in-game, if you were able to have him on your crew, what his abilities would be. And since he's a Turian infiltrator, because I wanted him to be weird and different, because he's tiny and weird and different. So his abilities are Tactical Cloak, Sabotage, and Incinerate. Because if that doesn't sound like Eyeless, I don't know what does. He gets to burn things, he gets to fuck people's shit up, and he gets to be invisible. Which pretty much sounds like him, right? How many siblings does Atreus have? Bonus points for telling me how many of them are brothers and how many of them are sisters. And this one, I guess people got kind of confused because I think they kept adding in Atreus because... And I think that's partly my fault, because whenever Atreus refers to his brothers and sisters, he always includes himself in the count, because he says, oh, well, there are 14 of us. And that's because he's including himself in the countdown, because he's one of them. He has 13 siblings, 6 of whom are brothers, because he's the 7th son of a 7th son, which isn't important in this universe, but it is in the original one that I made Atreus for. So he has 6 brothers, and he has 7 sisters. And his sisters are all pretty much younger than him. He has, like, 2 that are older than him. So it doesn't make him the 7th sibling to be born, but it does make him the 7th son. Which of Marius's parents was permanently crippled when he was 3? And that's his father, who's the one who became a drug addict and a gambler, and he was the one who Marius was around the most and kind of the main cause for abuse in his early life. What model of ship is the Crying Star? And the Crying Star is a Turian frigate, which the Normandy would have been based off of. Because the Crying Star is far older than the Normandy. The Normandy is a quite new ship. Because remember, the original Normandy SR1 was made... let's see, if it's Mass Effect 3 timeline now, it would have been made 4 years before now, and the Crying Star is at least 10, 15 years older than that. Because it was a retired ship. I'll get to the rest of that later. Anyway, so it's a Turian frigate. An older Turian frigate, but a Turian frigate. So that one was pretty easy. Everyone pretty much got that answer. Where does Ilias typically sleep on the ship? And I'm glad I gave this one a lot of points, because this is kind of like, it's changed recently, but everyone, I've used the answer that's on his dossier, it's actually technically under the headcanons page, where I put that he sleeps underneath the pilot's console or underneath his cot, which is still true, but since the in-canon events with Juliet, where he was kidnapped off of the ship, he has been sleeping around in air vents and under other people's beds and couches, like Tavi's, because he doesn't trust the ship anymore. He doesn't feel it's safe. So he's kind of been sleeping everywhere else but on this ship when it's docked. When he's on the ship, he sleeps underneath his console, or he sleeps underneath his cot in the men's quarters. Why can Zal and Tazra exist frequently outside of their suits? And I was really surprised that everyone pretty much got this one. I was really excited. It's because Zal's research is directed toward Quarian immune systems, and he has drastically improved both his own immune system and his sister's because he experiments on them both. His sister does it all of her free will. Anytime that Zal needs to experiment on someone, he asks her first, and she's always willing to agree because she knows how important his research is, and she knows how brilliant he is. She just really, really resents him for other reasons. But yeah, and he tends to experiment on himself so much more, which is why Zal is so much more willing to go out of his suit outside of the ship and just walk around his med bay without it on and be pretty much fine because his med bay has been quarantined and desanitized pretty much once every day. And he's pretty much used to all of the germs that the crew has. If they bring in something new, it takes him a while to get used to it, but he's pretty much used to it. So when he gets fevers, they're so much lower than what the average Quarian would get. Like when Tally in ME2 talks about how she got a mild fever and is slightly sick, but she's still working. It's like that, only Zal gets it so less more often. Like if he gets a puncture in his suit, it's actually far less likely that he'll get an infection compared to other Quarians because he's been working on his immune system for so long. It's been years. And the thing is that I wanted that to be as canon as possible. So the thing is that the research he's been doing is a lot like how the Geth in ME3, if you get the Geth and the Quarians to get along, Tally explains how Geth are infiltrating or being downloaded into Quarian suits to help them adapt their own immune systems, like slowly immunizing them. And Zal's been doing that on his own at a much slower rate for several years because he's kind of obsessed with it. How did Atreus really lose his arm? And most of you got this, but a couple of you didn't. He lost his arm in an explosion while he was hunting down his family's murderers. And so that was the answer. I was like, if you get really close to this, you'll get as many points as possible. And if you wanted to get really detailed, he lost it when he had hunted down one of the main heads. It was like one of the last guys he had to hunt down, and he lost his arm in this jury-rigged explosion after he killed the guy. Like I've said earlier today, the crew all have their dark sides, even Atreus. He does have a bit of a dark side. It's really tied into his pain, considering his family and the people he cares about. So you don't want to fuck with people he cares about because then he gets all, like, Punisher crazy. Alright, who commanded the ship before Atreus? And that was Dezora Arturius. Everyone got that. I'm very happy. Good. Zora commanded the ship before Atreus did. And I'll get to that part later. So Dezora commanded the ship before he does. And in certain verses, she still commands them. But like the mercenary AU, she's still the actual commander. And she's just not on the ship anymore. It's Atreus is running the ship, and then Dezora is sending the commands. And then in the Deception AU for Dezora, she's pretending to be a Spectre, but is sending direct commands to Atreus. So he's still technically following her commands, but he's the one in charge of the ship. Why did Racist leave his wife? And that's because she was physically and mentally abusive, and many of you got really close to that, and so that was really good. But yeah, his wife was physically and mentally abusive, especially since she was very judgmental of his kind of apron kink. He likes wearing aprons. He's this big, tall, buff guy. He likes really frilly aprons. I like that about him. He's kind of silly. So yeah. So that's why he left his wife. What sort of charity does Racist fund/run? He runs a charity for victims of domestic abuse and is slowly funding a charity colony specifically to help with victims of domestic and child abuse. Mostly specifically domestic abuse, because that's what he went through, and he knows how awful it is and how hard it can be to get away from that. Okay, so what sort of slaves were Coral and Forel before they were freed? And the answer is technically they were harem slaves, and that is technically in their bio, but if you want to get technical about it, they were slaves meant to serve their mistress both sexually and to be her bodyguards, and also to give her companionship. Forel was a lot better at the actual bodyguarding and the emotional attachment bit, whereas Coral was like, yeah, sex, let's do it. Because Forel is asexual. He has no interest in people sexually. He's not aromantic, though. He's panromantic. He doesn't really care who people are. He can fall in love with them regardless, but he has no interest in sex. Whereas his brother is pansexual and almost aromantic. He doesn't really care about romance, but he's, like, super sexual. So that's the difference between the twins. Which I'm going to get down to that other question down there in a second. Why does Marius act as if he has no emotions? And the real answer is because he follows a bastardized version of Zen philosophy and blocks out his emotions. Which is due to the abuse he suffered as a child, but that's the real reason why he acts like he doesn't have emotions, is because he went through all this, like, he had this boyfriend who was a Zen Buddhist, and he learned enough about it to do this meditation and do the chants, but he's not really a follower of the religion. He just uses it to block out his emotions. So he's not actually a Buddhist. He might call himself a Buddhist, but trust me, he's not. Okay, who else is Tazra attracted to besides other female Quarians? And the thing was, is a lot of people only listed, like, one of the other species she's actually attracted to. Everyone kind of forgot the other one, except for a couple people, and yay, them. She's attracted to Asari, because they're an all-female race, and she's a lesbian, and they're pretty. And I'm one of those people who's like, I'm pretty sure Asari have mild psychic, like, influence over people to make them look prettier. And she's also attracted to female humans because their body shape and the way they look is very similar to Quarian physique. Because if you look at the other female aliens, at least as far as I can tell, they don't look as much like Quarians. Because, I mean, Quarians are, ooh, with the breasts and the booty. And I'm one of those people who's like, female Turians don't have breasts. I'm under that tent. Yeah. So, she's not attracted to Turians anyway, so it's Asari and female humans. Which of the Patarian twins is asexual? Bonus points if you can tell me what the other twins' sexual preference is as well. And, Forel is the asexual one, and Curl is pansexual, leaning towards women. So he's not straight. He's attracted to everybody. He just likes women more. It's kind of like how I'm pansexual, but I kind of like men more. I mean, women are really, really pretty, and I would love to... I've dated a couple of girls, but, just... men are so hard and, like, chiseled. Anyway. In what alternate universe is Marius an artist? And that's, the new Gilded AU. It's under the headcanons page. In the Gilded AU, everybody's got, quote-unquote, sexualized career paths that they've chosen. So everybody exists off of the ship. And that's the AU where no one's a mercenary. They're all something else. Like, Atreus is a rock star who may or may not have gone naked on stage once. Marius is an artist who does really sexualized paintings and sculptures and photographs. He's also a tattoo artist. And Coral and Forel run a spa where they do massages that may or may not have happy endings depending on what twin you happen to get. It's a lot harder to tell in that universe because Coral doesn't have the blue markings in that one or the scar on the back of his neck. Race is also running that clinic, and he does quote-unquote sexual therapy, which is a thing, and he does it. Ilias is a stripper. Zal is a model, and Tazra runs a sex toy shop. So that's the Gilded AU, everybody! You like that AU? It amuses the hell out of me. What does the Mun usually refer to herself as? And those of you who have my Skype totally cheated. That is not fair. You can't use my real name. Just, you sent me my real name. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. You guys have my Skype. Oh shit. So you got full points, but it's cheating. And, so the answer I wanted to use this was Munificent, because that's the tag I normally use for when I'm talking to OOC, at least on the Crying Star crew. He's Munificent, because it's the Mun, magnificent, and it's like Maleficent, who's my favorite Disney villain. Whatever. What is the crew's tagline on the main page of the blog? And the tagline is off to the side, next to the, main picture, and that's, it's good to be bad, bad to be good. Which, a lot of people got, a couple people didn't, but for the most part, everyone got that one. Yay. And the whole reason I picked that was because they're good, they're mostly good people, but then they do bad things, or they can be technically quote-unquote bad people who do good things. They're one of those weird gray groups. The crew. Yeah. It's kind of like the Brotherhood of Mutants. They do such good things sometimes, and they have kind of a good message, but then they do such really bad things. And they're technically a terrorist organization group. It's like you feel conflicted, and that's how it is with the crew. Which ship were Tazra and Zal originally from before the pilgrimage? So is essentially what ship were they born on? And that was the Tombe. So they would have been Zal, Saurus, is it whatever. They originally came from the Tombe. Okay, no one got this one right. At least they would get half of it right, and then the second half they would get wrong. But the original owner of the Crying Star was Saren Arturius. He owned it, and he gave it to Dezora. And Dezora is the one who actually still owns it now. The crew is leasing it from her. She never actually gave it to them. So Atreus doesn't own it, he's just the captain. Saren was the one who originally owned it, and during the events of Mass Effect 1, when Zora came across him on Vermeer, he gave her the ship in order to leave. So he signed it over to her, which meant Dezora was the owner of it, especially after Saren died. So, Dezora still actually owns it now. Saren was the original owner. And he had it because it was a decommissioned military ship. So there you go, there's the history of the ship itself. How many of the crew members would happily engage in bondage or BDSM sex? Bonus points if you name them. And a lot of you got really close, but technically there are 6 members of the ship who are willing to engage in bondage with people. And that's Atreus, Marius, Coral of the twins, because Forel's asexual, he's not interested in anything having to do with that. Ilias, Rhasis, and Tazra. Zal is not interested in bondage. He's more interested in just kind of rough sex. He's not interested in tying people up because he feels that's forcing them. And he would rather manipulate them. He's more into the psychological control than he is in the actual physical bodily control. Whereas Atreus, Marius, and Racists are all kind of into it because they just think it's a fun kink. Ilias likes it because it means he doesn't have to hurt anyone during sex, because he has those little freakouts. And Coral's just kind of like, whatever, I don't give a shit. Tazra likes it because she's a little kinky too. But yeah, so those are the 6. We're interested in it. A lot of you got pretty close on that one, but no one got everybody. But so those are the 6. And those are all the questions. So now I'm going to announce the winners. Yay! And what they're going to get. Yay! Prizes! Handful alien. So, first place with 66 out of 81 points is Shepherd's Loyalty. And Shepherd's Loyalty is going to get a scarf hand-knitted by moi. And I'm actually pretty good. Like, the only thing I could have to actually show you for my knitting is off in a corner, and it's like one of the first things I did, and I don't like showing it because it has all these holes, and it's kind of like half blanket, half shawl, half thrall thing. I did it when I was bored. I do make nice looking scarves though, and you'll have a nice looking scarf. Up to 3 colors. You don't have to have 3 colors, but I can go up to 3 colors. You're also gonna get one of the small little Mass Effect art books, and 3 full colored and background and possibly multiple character drawings done by me. 2 voice messages I'll do of my impersonation of your choice of crew members, and a drabble or short story of your choice, and I'll make you a blog promo, which I'll post everywhere. So that's what Shepherd's Loyalty gets for winning first place. Second place is Tavi and Alvia. So way to go, Tavi. You win a scarf in your choice of 2 colors and 2 full background colored pictures drawn by me, 2 voice messages of any 2 crew members that you want, and a drabble or short story of your choice, which is fun because you won my last contest and you got a whole bunch of them, which I think I never finished like 2 of them. I'm sorry. It was just, I was like, how do I write a conversation between Atreus and Tavi at a bar? Like, just small talk? I don't know, I lost all my inspiration on that one. Third place goes to Vanguard Turian with 53 points. Oh, Tavi got 59 out of 81 points. Vanguard Turian got 53 out of 81 points, and she winds up in 3rd place with a scarf hand-knitted by me in any choice of 2 colors, 1 fully colored background drawing picture, and 1 voice message that I will do my best impersonation of any crew member of your choice. So 4th place goes to the Alliance Officer 21, who won 2 drawings done of their character. It can be done of anything. I don't like drawing Caden, though. This is the problem. Caden's, like, I don't want to say he looks average, because he doesn't, but I mean, like, average guy-wise. And I have this thing about drawing guys where if they're not Turian, I kind of suck at it. So, this is going to be fun. I'm going to put some effort into this. Oh, established characters, why? And Turian Merc got 5th place. So they're going to get the 5th place prize, which is a drawing of their character. And because there's no 6th place prize, everybody is going to get a surprise drabble that I'll write for them. It can be done of anything from any verse. It might not have anything to do with Mass Effect. It might just be some random thing I'm working on that I'm like, I think they'll enjoy this. I'm going to send it to them. So that's what you're going to win. So thank you for participating. And thanks for getting me up to 141 followers on the Crying Star crew. And I swear to God, I'm like 2 people away from 300 on Azora, and it's like freaking me out. So thanks for that. Thanks for making this day actually bearable, because normally I want to kill myself today, because it's horribly depressing. So thank you for that. happy birthday to me in a couple days. And just I hope you guys are all having a great day. Thanks for participating. Magnificent out.